Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
5 minutes after 10 o'clock, Matt Gibbs is in the studio. Your phone calls are an important part of the show, so remember the number is 622-WOCA. It works out to 622-9622. Matt is, of course, the owner of Sunrise Automotive, as well as Crossroad Auto Sales. This show is called Auto Repair with Personal Care with Matt Gibbs. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, Larry.
How was your weekend?
It was too short.
Too short?
Yeah.
You know, I went on a boat.
You did?
Yeah, my brother has a boat down in Sarasota, and there was lots of other boats out there, too.
Where'd you go?
The intra-coastal waterway, like around Venice and Sarasota.
Oh, the intercoastal, yeah.
Between the Barrier Islands and the... Yeah. So I made an observation about engines. I thought you would appreciate, because you're a musician as well. The bigger the instrument, usually the deeper the tone.
Yes.
Right? So
okay.
this huge boat goes by, and it definitely had a very deep noise to it, you know? So I wondered, is a Harley Davidson a bigger piston or something? Why is it a deeper sound than like a Suzuki or something?
Well, one of the things about they're dual cylinders, so you got two pistons,
right?
And the unique thing about a Harley is that they're firing at the same time. Where like a Suzuki, one would fire, and the other would be on exam.
But are they bigger? Is there a bigger
not necessarily
chamber?
Bigger.
No. Oh, really?
It's just the way that they the way that they fire, and also the exhaust has a lot to do with it too. But I don't know. There's nothing sounds like a Harley.
I saw a cute woman. Forgive my man-ness, but this happens. If I look at a woman and she's cute, it registers where she's cute. So she was on a Harley. And just cute, petite, pretty girl, just rumbling. And I thought, wow, that's kind of a cool thing to look at.
Yeah.
And no helmet. I thought, come on, you got to put your helmet on.
Now was she riding a Harley in the water when?
No, it's two different stories.
Okay.
But you know what I was wondering, Matt? Where do you get the cars from? Where do they come from? And who gets them?
Like the cars on Crossroad Auto Sales?
Yeah, the cars you sell.
Well, we get...
that is a good question.
They're having a party in there. Typically, I buy my own cars. Okay, a lot of dealers use buyers. They have wholesalers and send people out to go find their inventory. But I go out. Me and Philip go out.
From who?
Well, our biggest supplier is right here in Ocala. We have an auction, Odessa auto auction. It's dealer-only auto auction, but it's right there by Gander Mountain, and it's every Friday.
Oh, really?
So we go out there and we buy.
Do you know in advance what might be available?
Well, I can. If I wanted to go out during the week and look around, I can. But typically what I do is I just go, an hour and a half, 2 hours before the auction starts.
Oh, and look at the cars?
And I look at cars, and I usually have an idea of what I'm looking for. So and there's typically 300 cars out there, and I don't look at 300 cars. I look at what I'm looking for, and then I have a little piece of paper and I make my little notes and I check. And one of the reasons I like buying cars from Odessa is that I can test drive them. If there's an issue, let's just say I buy the car and there's an issue with it, then I can arbitrate it. I can send it back. There's an arbitrator there,
right? And
I can say, hey, this car has this issue or that issue or whatever, and usually they'll just take it back.
In my limited experience of buying cars, because I've only bought a few, and you've bought a lot more. But when I've bought it from a person, like just one guy selling his car, I get in the car and he takes me for a ride. I think to myself, now how do I know he didn't do something so that if it works these 15 minutes, if that? I mean, because you can do something. You can do things to your car so that it works nice right now.
Right. And not just
and masquerade the problems.
Right, and not just private people do it. It's something that happens. You know, you're buying. I try not to buy somebody else's problem.
Right.
And now it becomes my problem. So we really do our due diligence. You know, we take them for drives. We really check them out. We do the best that we can. But here's the deal: if let's say and knock on granite, you know, I haven't bought a bad car yet. If I did buy a bad car, I wouldn't keep the bad car. Then I would just send it back to the auction. And
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
That'd be somebody else's problem.
That'd be someone else's problem, because if I buy a problem, I don't want to sell a problem. So if I buy a problem, I have to fix the problem. And so if the problem is beyond a certain point, then I don't deal with it. I just get rid of it.
When you go to a very large car dealership, and there's so many cars up there, it's kind of like going to a buffet. You're gonna eat just one plate of food, you know, or maybe two, but you're only gonna buy one car.
Right.
So you look at all these cars, and really, if you know in advance what you're looking for, you don't really have to go to a big lot. Unless that's the only place you can get that one car.
Yeah, and some people, you know, they just, like my wife, for instance, she wants to know. I bought her a Buick Enclave, and you know, there's all the different colors, there's all the different packages, and I know what I want. You know, I guess it's a guy thing. You know, like I can go into the store and get a gallon of milk and walk out of the store. You know. My wife, she goes into the store and then she starts thinking about other things.
She's got it.
Right, you know. So
and you should be glad for that.
Absolutely. And so it's the same thing with cars. I can go in there, I can go buy that Buick Enclave, get the one that and bam, it's done.
Yeah.
But she's like, well, does it have this? Does it have that? Does it have this? Can we get one with this? Can we get one with that? Can we? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she'll shop for a car. I'll just go buy a car. Kind of thing. But I'm the same way.
But
if I walked into the Sears store with something on my mind, I'm going to go into the Sears store, pick up the thing that's on my mind, go to the register, pay for it, and go home. And then my wife said, well, since you were at Sears, we needed this, and this, and this. You know, and I'm thinking, well, I didn't think about all that other stuff.
Yeah, you had your mind set on one thing. Wow. So your customers are typically just people drive by and they see the sign, or people hear, hopefully on the radio they hear about it?
We've sold quite a few cars to folks that have listened to the radio show. And
well, the big thing, I say this over and over, whether it's for the mechanical services you provide or to buy a car, it's because you've earned our trust. You've said the things and actually done the work, and said you don't need the work.
Right.
That is a crazy thing. You come in, you trust somebody because he says, "Oh, you don't need new brakes."
Right. That's how. I mean, that was the first time Sonny came into the shop,
and me.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could have said, "Yeah, you need new brakes." It's a few $100.
But you know, it's about relationship. You know, it's not about getting a dollar today. It's about building a relationship, and it's not even about the dollars.
Well, you know what they say in this business? They say when you get one phone call, good or bad, it means that person is going to tell 250 other people about that phone call,
right?
Whether it was good or bad. And so the same thing is when you do business with somebody. I don't know where they get the number from, but if one customer is happy with you, then you've got 250 other people that hear that they were happy with you.
Right. Well, I don't know if you think it's really that if you do a good job, do they really tell that many people you did a good job, or is it when you do a bad job, then they tell a bunch of people, man, don't go there, you know?
Okay, but if you have they don't actually tell 250 people either way, I don't think. But if I tell you, oh my gosh, I got the best hamburger over at Charlie's or something like that, right? Then you might say, you know what Larry said to somebody else. So there's a little bit of a trickle.
Right.
Or maybe you wouldn't even mention me, but you just say, oh, you know what I heard.
Right, exactly. And that's what we've based our business on from the beginning. I don't really advertise. I mean, to be honest, it's just me and you in the studio there. You know, this whole radio show.
Yeah.
I was kind of like.
Don't need this?
Well, I was kind of suckered into doing it, you know, in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah.
We won't tell anybody you said that.
No, we won't. Don't say nothing. And Yeah, it's turned out not to be just a good thing for our business, but it's a fun thing. I like talking with people.
It is, but and again, the way I view this, especially regarding somebody who does what you do, well, or anybody. I mean, the attorney we have on Wednesdays, the gardening lady, well, she's not really for hire, I don't think, but I mean, so many people we get to trust you because we get to know you.
Right.
Oh, yeah. We'll be right back.
Yep, we will.
ABC.com. Safe boating is no accident. Sunshine mixed with some clouds today. Straight thunderstorm in the afternoon. High of 89 to 95. Turns out clear tonight. A low 71 to 74. Tomorrow and Wednesday, sunny to partly cloudy. Thunderstorm in the afternoons. High of 89 to 96 both days. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Maggie Johnson.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy. Never being in the mood. And when I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind. With a custom treatment plan that really works, I feel great. They could create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779. Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs. And all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 840-0750. That's 840-0750.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
WOCA.
Your source for the #1 sports weekends. Fox Sports, only on 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.
All right, 18 minutes after 10 o'clock. Matt, I've asked you a lot of questions, probably more than once, but I don't think I've ever asked you this question.
Okay.
As a mechanic, as a mechanical technician,
Okay.
do you take offense with the fact that Google is called a search engine?
No, I don't.
It's not an engine.
I know it's not, but no, I do not take offense to it.
I mean, were you surprised when they started calling that thing an engine?
No, to be honest with you, I've never thought about it until just this moment right now on Monday at 10:18 on June the 5th of 2015.
Search engine.
Yes, it is.
How many? I mean, how do you define an engine then? If that's an engine, how do you define an engine?
I don't know.
I mean, what's the difference between a motor and an engine? I always thought a motor was electrical.
There you go. It could be a motor, electrical motor.
It could be a search motor.
It could have been. Yeah, that's right. Let's give it a computer
So
name.
what's the difference in your mind between an engine and a motor?
There is no difference.
No difference.
Nah. Some people call it tomato. Some people call it tomato. It just. There's no difference.
You have a phone call. Good morning. You're on there with Matt.
Good morning, Matt.
Morning.
Say, my wife's reading the paper last week, an article about this guy. I think it was locally that was driving his van where the accelerator or something mechanically happened where it sped up to about 100 miles an hour before it crashed. And she comes to me and she says, "Honey, what would you do if that happened to you?" well, I told him I can't say it on the radio, but I said probably the first thing you probably want to do is maybe, if you can think that fast because you're probably terrorized, is probably turn off the ignition, but then you'd lose your power brakes, I guess. So what would you suggest, Matt?
Well, when it happened to me, I just shut the key off, and you still have, you know, you lose the power assist to your brakes, but you still have brakes. I mean, you're just going to have to mash them. They'll be a little bit harder than manual brakes, but that did happen to me one time when I was driving, and the accelerator stuck. I just shut it off.
Yeah, I supposedly, according to the article, it was a brand new Ford van, and they've been having trouble with that vehicle, according to the article. And like I said, it's got to be a terrifying experience. All of a sudden, you're going 100 miles an hour, and I don't know if you got time to think about it or what the heck to do, or you hit the emergency brake. I don't know if that would be much of a help, but I said, like you suggested, would be turn the ignition off and hope for the best, you know.
Well, you know, I mean, I'd rather hit a tree at 60 miles an hour than 100 if I was going to hit something, you know. So I mean, my deal is, I've had several things happen to me over the years. I was driving a car and the steering wheel came off in my hand.
You told us that terrible story. Yeah.
And that'll put a...
That's crazy.
Yeah, that'll put a little step in your stepper, you know. And... The main thing is just to remain calm.
The main thing that happened to me several times was having a blowout, you know, going at a fairly good speed. And thank God both times it was in the front where you can basically control your target, you know.
Yeah, and the one thing you don't want to do is something you mentioned is apply the emergency brake. Just remember the brake on your car is not an emergency brake. That is so important for people to understand. It's not an emergency brake. It is a parking brake. And if you apply that emergency brake and those back wheels lock up, you are going to crash into something because you're going to just start spinning round and round and round.
Oh, wow.
Because the back end is going to want to be in the front. So it's very, very important that, just remember, it's a parking brake. It is not an emergency brake.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the parking brake just basically locks up the back wheels.
That's all it does. And then the back is want to try to get to the front, and then all kinds of fun stuff starts happening.
Wow. Although when my son, hey Nancy, when my son's car broke down on the other side of the mall here, we pushed it to this place back here for Sears, and when he got into the garage there, he couldn't stop because the car was turned off. And he used his emergency brake to stop. So in that case, he had to.
Well, he used his parking brake to stop.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when we do that all the time. I mean, we'll push cars in.
Otherwise, he would have crashed through the wall.
Yeah, that's fine. But when you're going, 40 miles an hour, I mean, you got yours is pull handle right there.
Right.
Okay. I'll tell you what to do. You get here early in the morning.
No,
when there's nobody in the parking lot.
You can do it.
Okay, because I know you would never do this.
Drive fast and pull it up.
Yeah, just yank that thing up and see what happens.
I don't understand that though, because in the old cars, isn't that the way brakes were? It was in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So why does
the parking brake is in the back?
Okay, so the brakes have always been in the front, or all four?
All four.
All four. Okay.
Yeah, because 70% of your stopping comes from the front, not from the back.
So when you're pulling a car, the guy in the back is the brakes, right?
Well, you hope he's paying attention, and I mean,
obviously the guy in front puts on his brakes.
Yeah, you better put on your brakes too.
I hate that. I've done it a few times. I never want to do that again. I call a tow truck from now on. I never say. Some friend says, "I got a chain.
Yeah,
I can pull you from Orlando."
No. We call 732-8691. That'll send you out a tow truck.
That is exactly what had to happen. Is there anything about the old cars that you wish would come back? Two examples. I won't make you guess what I'm trying to get at. the spare tire should be a full spare tire, and the jack should be a jack, I think. What do you think? That little screw thing, it's just like, it's crazy.
I mean, the spare tire thing, that doesn't really bother me. What I like, and the jack, even though those little screw jacks, a lot of them, they crank up pretty quick. You know, you just got to put them in the right place. And what I wish they would do is like in some of these cars, it's like you got to take half the car apart to get to the jack.
Yes.
You know, that's kind of crazy.
That's a new thing.
And
a thing they could fix. We do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt. Are you there? I guess not. I looked up at the screen and said call ended.
But I do like some of the retro stuff, you know. I mean, some of the lines back in the day, and I like that, you know, some of the manufacturers are bringing some of that look back.
You know what we saw the other day? A car and the Pernindle.
Okay.
On the far right, it was like an old Cadillac, beautiful shape too, and it was a convertible, so you could see the inside the car. The farthest right point on the gear shifting thing in an automatic was reverse.
Huh.
The farthest right was reverse.
Wow.
Had the R. All right, let's go back to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah, speaking of old cars, they replayed the Laverne and Shirley episode where Laverne was learning to drive a car, and it was a 1948 Hudson Hornet.
That's an old car, isn't it?
Was it hard to drive?
That was an old car even then.
Did you have to crank it?
Have a good day.
Thank you.
So when you had a crank car, did you have to put the ignition on anyway? Was there a key?
On what now?
The car that had the crank in the front. Did you still have to put the ignition on, or was there no ignition key? Could anybody steal your car? In other words, back in those days?
Well, yeah, anybody could have stole the car because they were just so easy to
just crank it up and go
to bypass. Yeah, and I'm trying to think because I had a 1930 Model A coupe,
right?
And it
had a crank in the front.
Oh yeah. I mean, it also had an electric starter on it too, but it had the old hand crank. And I'm just trying to think, did I have a key for that car? I think I did. It was just one of them real small little keys, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a crank. It had a key. Because when you had to turn it off, you turn the key and it would stop the spark.
Is there something different about the upholstery in the cars that are completely left open? Like you park a Jeep that has no roof, it just rains, people don't seem to care.
Yeah.
Is there something different about their upholstery?
No, not really. They just don't care.
Did we cover anything that we needed to cover? You had a call. Somebody wanted to make sure we handed it to him or whatever.
I think we did good today.
So go buy a car. Spotlight a car. Do you have anything on the lot today that you can spotlight?
We bought 3 cars last week. We bought a Hyundai Tucson. That's a really, really nice car. Someone's looking for a small SUV.
Tucson, like in Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay.
We bought a couple Chrysler Pacificas. Both of them are, one of them is not through the service process yet. One of them is, and I can't think of what the other one is right now. It's because it's not there. It's out getting detailed and all that stuff. After we get them all serviced up, then I send them to a guy to professionally clean them and stuff.
Right.
That's what we need to do to your car one day, is professionally clean it.
Do they do houses too? Do they do homes?
No, but I have a buddy of mine that we take care of. He bought a truck from me, and that's what he does. He does the outside of the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does a really fine job. He came and did my house.
Cleans them up. Matt, we're at the end. I see. I can't.
Once again.
Crank up your theme song yet. Gotta wait for
This is the fastest half hour of my whole life.
It's 100 miles an hour. You know, ever since you told me that you got to 110 on an entry ramp on the interstate, I've been trying.
No, you have.
As I have.
In your car?
Not to 110. I just try to get completely up to speed by the time I get there. Because usually by the time I get to the top of the ramp, I'm going maybe 60.
Oh.
but I try to get to. I haven't done it yet. So is it just me? I'm just
you just got
reluctant.
Pin it. You're not pinning it, are you? You got to keep it to the floor, brother.
My car pins pretty good when it needs to. I never realized this. If I really step on it, it'll go.
It'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's your music. This isn't new music, but they're using the computer, so I had no choice. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you,
what's your phone number?
My phone number is 352-690-1993. Come see me at 1800 Northwest 10th Street. That's right here in Ocala, Florida.
Thank you, Matt.
I'm Pat O'Neill, a prison worker linked to the upstate New York jailbreak of 2 convicted killers in court this morning.
She's a tailoring instructor at Clinton Correctional Facility, charged with providing tools to help Richard, Matt, and David Sweat escape. Prosecutors say she had agreed to be their getaway driver, but backed out because she still loved her husband and felt guilty